Hi, welcome to another video, and this is gonna be a reading vlog of this one book that I received. It's GALATEA by Madeline Miller, and I am on my Madeline Miller high. And this is a retelling of GALATEA and Pygmalion, which I don't really remember. Like, Pygmalion is familiar, but I can't exactly remember. I am so thrilled. I'm gonna finish this later, surely. I finished this last night. I finally figured why GALATEA does not sound familiar, but Pygmalion does. In Ovid's work, The Metamorphosis, there is a story about Pygmalion the sculptor, who, when he walks around town, there are a lot of whores or prostitutes, and he finds them obscene. So he decided to create a beautiful woman made out of this statue. She's very beautiful, very pure, let's say. And he begged the goddess Venus, that's Roman. Oh yeah, Ovid is Roman. Okay. Yes. So he begged her to make that woman alive. And she did live, and then they lived happily ever after, basically. So she did everything that he wanted her to do. Like, she basically lived for him. So this is why this book is very, very clever, because this is not a retelling. At the back it says, an enchanting story that boldly reimagines the myth of GALATEA and Pygmalion. Because GALATEA is not the actual name of the girl, the woman in the original story, because she was just called the woman. So that is kind of like misogynist. Like, you know, Pygmalion is the hero of his own story. He created the perfect person for him. A lot of criticisms on this is they say it feels like it's not fleshed out. Song of Achilles or Circe, those were better books. And I have no... like, I can understand where they're coming from, because Song of Achilles is very poetic, very the language was very lyrical and beautiful. This one, however, is very harsh, matter of fact. There's an edge to GALATEA's voice, and I don't blame her because of her circumstances. But at the same time, you cannot fault this for not being fleshed out, because this is a short story that is very well written. Like, look at this piece of text, it's so short, and because of its shortness, it feels like it's not giving you enough information. But if you read it again, so you read it once, right? You absorb the main story of what happened, and then you read it again from the start, you will pick up things that you did not notice when you were reading it the first time. That is the genius of this, okay? I think it's meant to be short because it's meant to be read more than once. The way that Madeline Miller wrote this is like, she gives an exposition, a beautiful imagery, like a whole scene or an act. Okay, in a play there is an act, and there in one act there are several scenes, right? So if the scenes are supposed to be the like sentences, her sentences are not scenes, they are acts. Okay, they are packed with meaning and imagery. And a clear example of that is when okay, so they were she said to her daughter, shall we go to the countryside? And she said, Daddy will not let us. And I said, I know, so let's not tell him. So there we go, we have that event, right? And then the next paragraph is, we did not make it beyond the next town because everyone noticed us. A woman and a girl pale as milk. Yes, just that way. That sentence means someone, or yeah, someone is sent for them because someone is looking for them. Because this sentence has said, yes, just that way, means that person is telling which direction to go. So automatically you get that image in your brain. And then the next paragraph, it said, the nurse let me lie in the wet for a long time before she came with the dry linens. So how did that happen? Suddenly the picture, the image is now she is in bed all wet. When she is all wet, that means she was forced to drink this tea that will make her pee herself, and they won't even clean her up. You know, it's like sort of a punishment when she does something bad. So suddenly, so the previous paragraph, we saw an image of a person saying, oh, they went that way, and then the next paragraph was like she's lying in bed in the dirty wet linen. That is why it's so cleverly written. I'm feeling so passionate about this because I see it has not such low ratings. Okay, see, Song of Achilles has 4.4, Circe has 4.25 specific, Galatea has 3.93. Okay, it's not that bad, 3.93, but still there are only 58,000 ratings for it, and that's why I feel like this should be given a fair chance. Just read it again, it's super short, okay? And can we not appreciate what Madeline Miller did? The first original story is so misogynist, okay? The girl was happy. The sculptor Pygmalion, he created the girl because he didn't like whores and prostitutes, so he created the perfect woman, prayed to a goddess to make her live, and then she lives and she's happy. She does whatever he wants to do with her, this woman, and that's it. And then Madeline Miller turned it on its head and created a very strong female character. So give this a try. This gets a 5 stars from me, and I'm on a roll because this is my second 5-star of the month, and it's only my second book. Okay, welcome to the spoiler part of this video where I want to talk about the literary choices that Madeline Miller made and why I think that is absolutely genius. Okay, so first of all, the first line of the sentence, of this story is, "It was almost sweet the way they worried about me." So just by that single sentence, I immediately thought of this very sassy, sarcastic character. So immediately, author, was able to set the tone that this girl is being cared for, or because, people are getting worried about her. But she's thinking like, it's almost sweet. Like it's not sincere. You already know that this worry for her is not sincere. And actually, that is true. We know that the doctors and nurses are really there to keep her sick. Okay, so they are doing all of this so that she can be kept under control. And what I found very interesting also is that they are weaponizing her natural qualities against her. Like they're telling her, oh, your skin is pale, your pulse is slow, and she has explained it multiple times to them that it's because I used to be a statue. Okay, that's a quality of hers, and they keep on insisting that that is what's wrong with her. And I think that is quite reflective of some of the things that happen in society. Like the things that are natural to us, that are inherent to us, they can be used by other people to hurt us. So I really, really like that. Okay, there's this part where Galatea was looking out the window and the doctor was like, get back to the bed, lie down, you need to rest. And Galatea was like, no, I'm just smelling the flowers. I'm smelling the narcissus, which she admittedly did not know how narcissus smells like. And what's even worse is the doctor knows that there are no flowers wherever she was. I was thinking like, why did Madeline Miller choose this flower? Out of all the flowers that existed, why this one? And I think I realized it right towards the middle, why she made that choice. And knowing Narcissus, his story, it already brings out to you an image of vanity, right? Because Narcissus loved his image so much that he kept on staring at his reflection on the river or pond or whatever. River, definitely a river, because he has to fall in and he's gonna die and drown, right? So when I read Narcissus, immediately that picture came to mind, and so it was very easy for me to grasp at what kind of person Pygmalion was and how he was portrayed here. And that was very apparent during the role plays. So that is very disturbing. She is already a human, and he likes to keep on repeating this process of when she was a statue and when he prayed to the goddess, and how she turned into a human, and then he proceeds to rape her, obviously. So that happens all the time. And aside from that being so sick, I think that is how the sculptor is making himself really feel that he is the savior of Galatea. Like, you're a statue, I begged the goddess to make you human, so I basically created you. And he loves that so much. Like, he wants to take credit of that so much that he repeats it over and over again, to the point that Galatea doesn't even, like, sometimes Galatea like snores. And I laughed at that part. She snores, and well, he got angry, and then she had to drink tea again. Yeah, so I think that's very, very interesting, because it also reflects how he named her originally, the supplicant. Someone asking for supplication, someone who's begging and pleading for help. And right from the beginning, like, after he created the statue, he already had a role that she would play in his life, which is to be the supplicant. And I think, yeah, again, he did that because, you know, he loves himself so much. And that is like a parallel to the Narcissus image that we already encountered. And what's interesting also is that, you know how Narcissus was so vain, right? And he was staring at himself. Like, Pygmalion made this statue, made it come to life, and then that was the end of him. That was the thing that killed him. And I think that's also a parallel of Narcissus' story. So I really felt that Madeline Miller is a genius. And also, I think that is quite a reflection on this narrative of the creator and the created. I was also able to parallel it with a parent and a child relationship, and say a talent manager and a music artist or an actress, actor, and how they take credit so much of how they created that person. Like, okay, I made you a star. You won't be in that position right now if it weren't for me. I worked hard to get you there. So you have to give back to me. Don't forget that I own you, basically. There are situations like that happen. Or for example, when parents, not all, like some parents tell their children, oh, pinag-aral kita, kaya kita pinag-aral para bigyan mo ko ng pera, buhayin mo ko. Kasi pinaghirapan ko yung pag-aralin ka eh. Which is basically, it's not even, that's a parent's obligation. Right? As for talent manager and actor and actress, sure, the actress or artist should look back into how the manager helped them, but not to the point that the manager says that they made them. Of course, these artists also did some hard work to achieve where they are. So I think that's a very interesting parallel that I thought of while reading this book. Okay, the third thing that I found very interesting was when Pygmalion was creating a new statue, and it was a young statue. And he particularly said that it was a 10-year-old statue. And I was very curious as to why Galatea she reacted by, like, she's not wanting to believe that this is a 10-year-old girl. Like, she was saying, are you sure she's not a 12-year-old girl or maybe a 15-year-old girl? And then he insisted, no, she's 10. I was like thinking, why is Galatea she cares so much about how old this statue is? And then, towards the end, I realized that her daughter and the statue are almost the same age. And as we read, we know that this sculptor is so jealous of their child because Galatea loves her child so much, naturally. Which means that Pygmalion knows that she is just showing love to him because basically he's asking her to grovel over him, right? And so I think Galatea had this idea that he is going to get rid of their statue, their daughter, and replace it with this new statue, because I think this is the difference between Paphos and the statue daughter. The statue daughter is then immediately created by Pygmalion. That means Galatea has no hand in creating this new statue, while their daughter, she actively gave birth to this child, right? So I think that is why Narcissus wants to take control of that also. And I don't know, maybe he is planning, no, not I don't know. I'm sure he's planning to get rid of the other child, the one that was carried by Galatea. So basically, he just wants everything to be all about him and for his benefit. And I bet he's gonna make the daughter role play and say, oh, daddy, thank you for making me live. Also when begging the goddess to turn me into human. I don't know, that's just me imagining. And there's also this thing with the tea. I just realized now that she was being forced to take this tea, and I thought it was just to make her feel bad and sick and whatever. But then the scene happened when
she said that she is pregnant again. And then of course Pygmalion did not like that, because obviously he doesn't want any attention from Galatea to be elsewhere for their daughter. Like, he wants all her attention to be towards him. And so I realized that perhaps this tea is she is being forced to drink this tea so that she cannot conceive. And what was interesting with this is that the tea that they were using against her, like keeping her sick and not being able to conceive, it was the thing that saved her. You know the scene with the beach when she was drinking tea, and then they went out, her and her nursemaid, and she suddenly said that, oh, her stomach is hurting from the tea, and then the nurse ran away, and then that was when she was able to escape and go to Pygmalion's house and kill him. Yeah, so if they are weaponizing her natural qualities, she is going to weaponize the tea that they were using against her. And also about weaponizing her qualities, I like that towards the ending we see that she, as a statue, like, she was heavier in the waters, and she used that to kill Pygmalion to ensure that her daughter is safe. She had to make the ultimate sacrifice, but I'm pretty sure that Paphos is a very smart young girl. She knows that it was her mom who did everything to keep her safe. Yeah, so I really, really like the messages that are in this book. And what's interesting in this story is that Galatea is the title, but within the book there is no mention of the name Pygmalion. It's just saying the husband or the sculptor. So basically, this is Madeline Miller saying that you are not getting a name in this book. Okay? If the woman did not have a name in the original story, this time it's the sculptor that's not getting a name. She's a genius. She's a genius. I wonder what Paphos means. I think perhaps that has a meaning as well. Ooh, okay. It means, it's originally. What? In the original story, Paphos was a son and not a daughter, as opposed to what is in this book. Yeah. She really took the power back. Paphos means passion, and instead of being a son, it was a daughter. Okay, so that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.